My problem isn't with what she said. I look, she can have whatever she want to have. If that's the mission, my problem is I'm not gonna sit here and go out there and tell men, hey, you need to live up to that shit. No, fuck that. Tell any woman that comes at you like that, kick rocks. Any woman that comes at you and says that if you want to level up, you level up because you want to level up, not because there's some unrealistic dating standard out there for you to live by.
But that's not unrealistic, Sweeney, and that's the point. That's the point that she's making. It's not so much that women are demanding that a man. It's not. I don't get. Basically, what BZ is saying is fuck what these women is asking for, or what kind of man are you? That's why I asked you what environment do you want to live in, as a man, as an individual? How much money? How comfortable are you willing to? Or do you want to have a long-term life in? And if you are cool with fast food, slop, wearing, like I think she said, wearing the same clothes. If you are cool with mediocrity, fellas, kings, if you are cool with mediocrity, then don't call yourself a king. Don't even come to King Talk. All right, come to King Talk if you are the kind of guy that says, where I am is not where I'll be tomorrow.
All right, I got that, Shannon. Here's the problem with that. Here's the problem with that, Shannon. And don't get me wrong. I always encourage men to level up. I don't only talk about it. I've hired people. I brought their credit scores up. I've elevated many men. That's what I'm about, right? However, there's a bell curve. There's always going to be an average. If we all start making more money, it's still going to be an average. The reason she said 50K and retracted from 100K because she said that's the average. They are attacking the average man, which there's always going to be more of an average, right? There's the bell curve. It's always going to be more of an average than anything. There's going to be people who excel, right? And I encourage men to do that. However, there's always going to be an average. And she's literally telling you that if you are an average man, which there will always be an average, most of us are always going to fall in an average. Most men are not worthy of dating. That's a problem.
That's where I fucked up. That's where I fucked up because I came into this and I attacked you fellas unrighteously because I'm thinking that she's saying 50K. I'm saying the what did you call it, Sweeney? The point of entry. I'm saying the point of entry is 50K. She's saying 50K ain't enough. I fucked up on that. So now, with that said, 50K don't be broke. Don't be poor. Wherever you live. Well, I'm in Los Angeles, California. So in LA is completely different than Little Rock, Arkansas. I got property in Little Rock, Arkansas. Living in Little Rock, Arkansas is completely different than living here in Hollywood. So I'm simply saying wherever you live in America, who's ever listening to this, don't be the broke person. And if you're gonna be that, fine, don't involve a woman. If you're gonna be that guy who's cool with mediocrity, don't involve another human being that you could potentially bring in children, and now the whole family's fucking struggling.
But most families are mediocre.
For those families, they are usually dual incomes. That's one of the quickest ways people who are in the middle class boost their financial status is by combining their household income.
Shit, hell, that's how most people make the middle household income is by combining household income, and they able to like the people that I cut regular average American people heads. They're not making, these dudes ain't making $100 and some $1,000 a year. They making 50. They wives may make 45, 50, and they live in nice houses in the suburbs. Like, you know what I mean? This is like, because I'll be real with y'all. If every man on this planet made $80,000 a year, you know how much I'll be charging y'all for haircuts? Because y'all gonna charge me because you got to make 80,000, right? Inflation. You gonna charge me for what's gonna get your income to 80,000. So now I got to charge you back. I'll be charging y'all damn near $100 a haircut.
Yeah, but if every man made 80,000, the GDP would change. So what we consider average would change. Gas price, everything. A gallon of milk would change if everybody made 80 grand.
That's what I'm saying. So basically, an average would never be good enough for this woman to say that regular American people would never be able to date because average would never be good enough. It will always kick the can down the road where we're looking at that group of people and saying, because right now today average is 50,000. If all of us leveled up average will now be 80,000, and everything is going to cost because where that money going to come from? If all of us start making 80,000, where the money going to come from? That means we all start circling. So she, in her mind, they look at it, and this is where women get it wrong. They look at it as if money grows on trees, as if this shit doesn't cost to, like, oh, well, just make 100,000. All y'all just need to make 100,000 and it'll be all okay. No, that's not how the world works. Economists will tell you that that's not how the world works.
All right, so we got to give Luis and Hinkin that. I got a little bit more clip to play. Go ahead, Luis.
I was gonna say this real quick. Yeah, how many of you in here work 40 hours a week or less?
Or less?
All right, then. That 50K, I'm operating on the assumption that 50K is on the premise of someone working 40 hours a week. 40 hours a week, that's it. 40 hours a week is the bare minimum in terms of work hours. Like, if you're trying to get past that threshold, you need to work more hours. You know what I'm saying? Because if he's working 40 hours a week, he's making 50K a year, and you're considering that's the barrier, the threshold of entry, that entry point, right? Then you're not working enough hours. You know what I'm saying?
So you're a financial professional?
Not a financial professional. You know what I'm saying?
Do you
I don't think I need to be a financial professional.
Actually, you do if you made that statement. If you were saving $200 a month at 9% in a qualified account, and you never leveled up, by the time you retired, you'd be a millionaire. And I have financial licenses besides being a communications tech. So when I hear you say certain things like that, you have to tread carefully with those things. My company pays me 6 figures despite what I do outside. So when I hear that, and that's why I push back at the point that Shannon is making, he is correct. It is valid, but not for defending what that lady said. It is valid. A man should not live in mediocrity, but you have to know what steps you're putting yourself on. He put caveats that fit his discussion, his argument of not being mediocre and dragging somebody into that sinking ship. The average man that works 40, don't put your head where your hands can't reach. Sit down with a financial advisor. If you're making that money, you'll start seeing it multiplied once you learn about compound interest and those things. So when you say 50K, I am broaching just bits by bits. I'm not going to throw the whole horse at you until you eat it. When I hear it, I just want to hear what you have to say and see if it's valid.
Lewis, one thing is your suggestion, and I think this is where I think Kenny is trying to say, because he's talking about he's getting 100 grand regardless. You're suggesting, Lewis, that you work hard, you work more. Say if you're working 40 hours a week, man, and you're making 50K and you want to make more money, you need to work more hours. I suggest you don't necessarily need to work more hours. You just need to get better skill set and make more money doing the same amount of work.
Yeah. So
I don't want men to, I don't want us to, we already fucking work ourselves to death, right? That's what we do as men. You know, the average lifespan is because we out there working all our goddamn life. And by the time we get old, our heart gives out. I don't want men to necessarily work harder. I would certainly love it if men work smarter. So if you're working 40 hours a week, a week, and you're getting 50K, what can you do to work 40 hours a week and get 75K? Doing the same amount of labor, but still having the same amount of leisure time. So I just want to put that on there.